Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing well. I am so excited that you have joined me for another reading of Katie and her camera. Mr. Stash, hello. Yes, I'm so glad you're able to join. I didn't see your comment earlier on George's because the chat was moving fast. Hi, Angela. So glad you could join us. Hello, Mantle, if I'm saying that correctly. I love your elephant picture there. Hello, Teresa Bryant. And we have Tia Fain in the chat and Love Arts and Crafts. And Angela says, I don't know if you saw my comment earlier. Oh yes, the elephant and Lucid's live. I know exactly what you're talking about. Hello, Jeannie. I'm so glad you joined us. Hi, Carolina lady. How are you doing? And Penny For She is here. So glad you could join us. I'm glad that all of you guys are in the chat. I'll give a few minutes for a few more people to come in. I know it's rather late, but I figured it would be a good time. Thank you so much for all of you guys that have been asking me to show my brooches. Each time I will. This is a pin that I got from Patrick at Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and it's probably from around 1950, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I do really like that pin. Let me move this around a little bit so you can see me better. Yes, Katie, this is the first time I've been to your live. Well, Mantle, you are in for a treat tonight. Hello, Sandra, the Pink Elephant Parlor. I am going to be reading more of this 1953 saucy romance novel by Lois Holbert. And let me tell you guys, this is a chapter you do not want to miss. And if you are new here and you haven't heard any of the other chapters, you'll be able to catch on quite quickly to what's going on, because this chapter really lays it out and recaps from before. And it is just so awesome. I mean, it is very saucy and very wild for the 1950s. So we're going to have fun with that. And hi, Lucid. You had a great live sale tonight. I love seeing what you have. I'm sorry I had to duck out a little early because I had to get set up for this live. But thank you for coming. And thank you for being so kind to end at 10 o'clock. I never want to run over anyone's time slot. I try not to do that. But everything's getting so full these days. And it's hard to find a slot to do anything on YouTube. And I really wanted to read these last couple of chapters in the book before December starts, because in December, I am going to be reading some Christmas books on my Monday show. So Mondays I always do, if you're new to my channel, I always read something. It's kind of become popular. People like these old 50s books. So I'll be reading that. And then on Wednesdays, I have a vintage video that comes out, whether that be on glass or Coca-Cola or anything antique and vintage. And then Fridays are my vinyl videos. So that's typically how my channel works. And I was just going to read this book for the series and then not do another book, but everyone has been commenting that they need me to do another book. So I've already picked out several books that will be in the future, but for Christmas, I have something very special coming. I'll be reading two of my favorite Christmas books from my childhood. That will be in December. And then to end the Christmas book series, I have several guest YouTubers that will be coming on my channel, and we will be reading The Night Before Christmas live in our pajamas with our hot cocoa or eggnog. And it is going to be really fun. So as that gets closer and more things get confirmed, I'll let you guys know about that. But I'm excited. I see Debbie's here from RV Vagabond Travels. If you are not subscribed to Debbie, please go subscribe to her. She's got a fabulous YouTube channel. She is new. She just started doing YouTube, and she has a couple of haul videos already up on her channel. So please, guys, go check that out. Hello, Jane, Doggone Happy Vintage and Antique. She's another great channel, and she has a live sale every Friday at 1 p.m. So definitely check that out. And I see Martha's here, Vintage Conversations. I'm so glad you're subscribed to me now. No worries. And Trisha's here from Sandy and Otto. So Trisha's one of the people that has been working on a YouTube live sale calendar. Now, Angela Marksberry's also in the chat, and she does one as well. So both people are working really hard to help notify everybody about what's going on in this great community, because there's so much every day that happens on YouTube, and it is hard to keep track of it without these great calendars. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Hello, Gretchen, Vintage Cat and Paws. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. You had a great live sale the other day, lots of fun Christmas, and you are so talented at your journals. My goodness, I just was blown away by those. Those were so fun. And Teresa Bryant, hello. I think I already said hello to you, Teresa. And let me shut off my phone here. I thought I did, but I'm still getting notifications that are making noise, and that would be distracting. So I'm so glad all of you guys are in the chat and having fun. Yes. Can anyone be added? So yes, Manal, if I'm saying your name right, and I'm sorry if I'm not, but yes, anyone can be added to the sale calendar. You just need to get in touch with Angela Marksberry, and then also notify Trisha at Sandy and Otto, because she does one as well, and she would like to keep all of that updated. Oh, hey, Sean from Now Spinning TV. Sean, I haven't gotten a chance to watch your latest video, but I'm excited to watch. I'm so glad you joined, and actually you're catching me on the night that I'm not doing anything vinyl related, but I will have some really fun vinyl coming soon. And if you guys have not seen the collaboration video I did with Jack from Jack's Tracks Records, you ought to check it out. He's a very bright young man, and he is definitely one of the youngest people in the VC, but he is fantastic. And I sent him an Edison Diamond disc, the discs that are a 1/4 of an inch thick, and they spin at 80 RPMs. They're very rare, hard to find. So I sent him one, and we did a collaboration video talking all about the diamond disc. So if you want to see that, that will be on my channel and his channel as well. But Sean, I will watch your video as soon as I can. Yes, Gretchen had some fantastic journals. She just is so talented. The journals really were, along with the little boots that she made. Yes, that is the name of the YouTube channel. So RV Vagabond Travels is the name of the YouTube channel. And if you are a moderator in the chat, please go ahead if you want to and share that link so that people can subscribe. And if you're not a moderator, I can make you one, just because I like to have lots of moderators in my chat. I'm a big fan of that. I do think that that works really well, and it just is easy for me that way, because, you know, the more moderators, the less trolls and problems that we have. Thank you guys, everyone who just subscribed, and I'm just taking a second here to make moderators. So hang on one moment. Debbie, I'm going to make you a moderator. And Trisha, let's make you a moderator. And Lucid. And I'll definitely, let's see, Sean, where'd you go? Sean, if you'd like to be a moderator, you are a moderator now. And Gretchen. So lots of moderators, I think, in the chat now. We should be all set for tonight's live. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, Sean, I do have a website, as you just saw. For anyone in the chat that's wondering, I do woodworking, and I do have a website, www.katiescreations1.com. Thank you for checking out my website. I love taking junk and turning it into something that is got a lot of history and character, and turning it into a treasure. So I love going to those architectural salvage yards and finding old things and creating something new out of it. But of course, keeping it very historical. I don't like to repaint things or take things totally modern. I like to keep them vintage, so that's fun. Yes, we've got the power. So if you've got a wrench, you've got the power. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, no worries, Vinny. I'm so glad you're here. Not a problem. You've had some great haul videos recently. That Coca-Cola ink blotter you found, I was jealous of that. That was amazing. It was so much fun to see that, because I only have one, and it's one of the more common ones. So I'm going to be on the lookout for more of those. Oh, thank you, Sean, so much. Yes, that is my website. So for all of you guys that don't know much about Katie and her camera, this is a romance novel for young moderns that was written in 1953 by Lois Holbert. And she is just a fantastic writer. And what's fun about this book is it's really different for the 50s because you see the woman in the book whose name is Katie. She's going to college, she's working, she's doing things that a lot of women in the 50s didn't do. So you've got that going already, which is quite interesting. And then, of course, you're following sort of her journey of finding not only a career, but love. And she's found this photography job she really likes. And now she's working for a local newspaper and she's getting ready to graduate college. And lots of things are happening. And she's finally dating this guy who works at another local newspaper who she just falls in love with. But this week, there is some very saucy details, as I mentioned. So last week, Katie and Paul, one of the two main characters in the book, almost went all the way, you would say, in modern times, but they made out on the steps, which was very saucy. And then this week, we're going to have some things that are happening. I've been practicing these two chapters. And yes, tonight you are getting a bonus chapter. So we're going to go read two chapters, and there are some fabulous things that happen. Hi, Carrie. Thanks so much for joining. I'm glad you're here. Oh, thank you for the cool comment, Jeannie. Yes, I love this hat. This is fabulous. So I've got a feather. It's a yellow feather. I don't know if that's going to show up. And lots of things. I've only caught one chapter in your book. It is like the soap operas. Can I catch up on 10 chapters later? Yes, you can. And if you are new tonight and you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I've missed all these chapters, do not worry. There are lots of recaps in this chapter. So you're going to catch on quickly to what's going on here. Not a problem at all. And oh, I'm so glad. Yes, lots of sauciness in this chapter. Yes, the journals was during one of her long lives, Angela. That's right. Oh, great. An unboxing is going to be fun, Lucid. I can't wait to see that. Yes, Gretchen does some fantastic things. Hi, Victoria H. I must have missed you, but thanks so much for joining. Yes, I'm excited to watch more of your videos, Debbie. You really do have a great channel. So the couple of main characters to know in this book are obviously Katie. She is the young girl who is dating a guy named Paul Serrell, who works at the Herald newspaper. And then you have Mr. Esperon, who is the main character as well, because he's her boss. So he's the one that does the photography. And now she has gotten a job at a neighboring newspaper. So she's no longer working for Mr. Esperon, but they're still close friends. So you have that going on. Now, she just got sent a very mysterious package from Mr. Esperon, and we don't know what it is, but we will find out more about it in this chapter. And I see collection vintage. Yes, you came at a great time, Aaron. Settle in with anything you guys want to drink, get some popcorn, a hot cup of tea, whatever, and just relax because this is really going to be fun. Oh, thank you, Carrie, so much. It's Louie so cute. She really is. And she was having a good time at the dog park yesterday. Okay, yes. And of course, I really love Erin's new puppy. She just got a Whippet, and that Whippet is so adorable. Winfred, what an adorable name. I love watching your puppy grow up and see all those photos on Instagram. Okay, so enough of my talking. I'm going to get into this chapter. Oh, hello, Newton's Cupboard, Michelle and Christina. Thank you so much for joining. You guys are coming in at the right time. So this is Katie and Her Camera by Lewis Holbert. I got this from Nicole at Nesting Haven, and this was so much fun. This is Katie and Her Camera is perfect. It definitely found the Katie, as Nicole said, and she was hoping for. And then I got this great idea, of course, from Misty at Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter, because she's been sewing all of her saucy books on her sales, and we all know Michael Todd really likes them. And I just really wanted to read this because I thought it would be so much fun. So we are now getting into the part of the book that is more saucy than any of the other parts of the book. I'm just here to say. Oh, hi, Dana. Thanks so much for joining. And Penny Forshee. Lots of great people in the chat. I am going to start reading this chapter, so I won't see the chat. But we are in chapter 14 of the book. Now, there is no images on the inside. Hi, Chicago lady. Thanks for joining. But we will get into reading this, and I will stop when we get to chapter 15, and then we'll read that chapter as well. So you get 2 bonus chapters tonight, and we have 2 more to go after this, and I will finish that up next week. So here we go. Katie and her camera, chapter 14. Catastrophe. It was so nice to travel light, Katie thought, stepping down from the train. She glanced around the station, searching for Paul's face. No Paul. She had taken pains to inform him of when her train would arrive and was sure he would meet her. Of course, he might have been caught in a traffic snarl. She might wait for a while and see. She was buying a paper when someone tapped her shoulder, and she turned around to see Diana Caldwell. Why, Diana, what a surprise to see you. Where are you bound? I came to meet you. I hear you've had a busy summer. But how did you? Paul was tied up with a story and asked if I could drop around and pick you up. I just left him at the office. He didn't want you to be disappointed because he thought you'd expect him to meet you. Sweet guy, isn't he? Oh, yes. Katie was struggling for composure. Diana must know Paul pretty well if he couldn't think of deputizing her to meet him at the train. But why had he never spoken of her? He had been dating Diana at the same time he had been seeing Katie during the summer. It was hard to believe that, or he could possibly be crass enough to bring them together in this way if that were so. And how could Diana talk on like this, as if there were nothing strange about it? The car's over here, but I thought you would bring luggage, but you didn't, Diana was saying. Would you like to stop for a bite first, or is your mother expecting you? No, thanks, I'm not. I think my mother's expecting me. Diana went on chatting about her summer and her father's visit and her decision to return for another year to complete a major in psychology. I switched around so often that I have piles of credit that do me no good. It's just in the last year that I decided psychology was the thing for me. Maybe I'll find out something about the bugs in my makeup. The Studebaker purred softly as Diana guided her car through the downtown traffic, over LaSalle and beyond Lake Street. Katie sat in silence, only half hearing Diana's voice. It was obvious that Paul had been seeing Diana during the summer. Could he have been simply playing around with Katie? He couldn't have been. It was not like him. And if it were just playing around, he could have found plenty of more girls conveniently located. The only explanation Katie could think of was that Paul was tiring of her already. Perhaps he needed the sophistication he spoke so scornfully and found it in Diana. Katie tried hard to understand. With an effort at detachment, she could see what a dreadful predicament a man would be in who was fond of a girl and hated to hurt her, but yet had fallen in love with somebody else. But surely Paul wouldn't choose the second-hand method of telling her. Surely he would be honest enough to tell her himself, no matter how difficult it was. Couldn't he trust her face to face with such a thing and accept the consequences? Was he afraid she would run after him or make scenes? Thanks, said Katie when the car pulled up in front of the house. Goodbye. She couldn't trust herself to say more than that. She got out and slammed the door shut, aware of Diana's eyes on her. Katie! Katie ran up the walk to the door, refusing to hear her, unable to bear the thought that Diana was going to be generous in her conquest of Paul and conceding to her. How goody! How goody! She dashed the tears from her eyes as she went in, kissed her mother and Kenny hello, and cut short their welcome. I'll be down soon, she said in a muffled voice, and went upstairs to her room, leaving her mother staring after her in perplexity. For gosh sakes, what's eating her? Kenny said crossly. She's been working hard, Kenny, his mother said. She needs some rest, and then she'll be down. Mighty fancy behavior, Kenny grumbled. Fine way to act when we haven't seen her for ages. Paul telephoned. Katie was tempted to tell her mother she was too tired to answer, but that would just be dodging the issue, so she came down. She avoided her mother's eyes, grateful at least that she had, with some odd instinct for caution, written little about Paul, as if she had known all along it was too good to be true. "Katie, honey, I'm awfully sorry I couldn't meet you at the station." Diana explained about it. Didn't she? Katie's yes was frigid, and there was a silence on the wire. "Is there something wrong, Katie?" Paul's voice was quiet but anxious. "You understand, don't you, that when there's a deadline, I have no choice in the matter. I can't break any appointment." "Of course." "What is it then? What's bothering you?" "Nothing." "Katie, don't pull that. I know you too well." "All right, then, under the circumstances, I don't think you picked the best possible emissary. Why couldn't you tell me yourself?" Katie's voice was fuzzy with a smothered rage. "Tell you? What are you? Oh, Katie, you can't be jealous of Diana. What did you expect me to think when you've been seeing her? If you're interested in someone else, you don't have to be afraid to tell me. I'd rather have you say so to me than trying to drag something else along out of a mistaken kindness. Katie, listen to me. I had to see Diana in connection with a story I've been working on, and I can't tell you about it yet, but I'll explain it all when it comes out. I have no personal interest in the girl, except that she's a nice kid under that sophisticated hide, and she has a lot of courage. Katie, I am terribly sorry you got such an idea, and I realize now how it must have seemed to you, but please be reasonable and try to understand. It's quite clear that this is over, and that's all you have to say. Goodbye." She hung up and sat there as if emptied of energy. The telephone rang again, but she wouldn't answer and shook her head at her mother when she came into the room. The phone subsided, and Katie went slowly upstairs to her room, still unable to talk to her mother about it. This was the welcome home she had looked forward to so eagerly, she thought with bitterness. Later in the evening, the telephone rang again. Mrs. Owens came up the stairs with a message from Ralph. Would Katie please bring the package he had written about to the wedding tomorrow? With Mrs. Owens sat down on the bed and stroked her daughter's hot forehead. "Is it something you can tell me about, dear?" "Later, Mother, not now." Katie turned over on her face and lay limp. "I wish I could help you, but I know there are some things that you have to go through alone, and you can only talk about them afterwards. Try to get some rest, dear." It was Mike who went to the wedding with Katie instead of Paul. It was a small and simple affair in the chapel of the church, but intimacy of it made a deeply moving ceremony. Katie thought once more about how right Stan and Louise seemed together, how an aura of happiness encircled them. Tears stung her eyes at the thought that she and Paul would never stand there together. Fumbling in her purse for a handkerchief, she felt the package and looked for Ralph, but he hadn't appeared. "Where's Paul?" Louise asked when she kissed at the reception. "I don't think he'd forget about our wedding. And what happened to Ralph?" Katie swallowed. "Paul was caught with a deadline and sends his warmest regards and best wishes. I expected to see Ralph here, but I don't know why he isn't here." She left the reception early with a reluctant, protesting Mike. "We have to find out where Ralph is. He wants this package, and I promised to deliver it." "What's it all about anyway? Sounds like a spy melodrama with mysterious packages and all that." But Katie insisted something must be wrong. It wasn't like Ralph to say he'd meet up with her and not show up, especially at Louise's wedding. They were still arguing about it when they walked down the corridor to Ralph's studio. Katie knocked. There was no answer. She knocked again. "You see, Katie, he's not home, or he would have answered." "But there's a light on, Mike. Look at the streak under the door. Ralph doesn't go away and leave lights burning like that. He must be here. Wait, I think I still have his key on my chain." She unlocked the door. "For heaven's sakes, the room is in a worse mess than ever." She stepped over heaps of debris and paper, books strewn around the floor. "It looks as if a cyclone had..." She stopped, staring at the prints and negatives scattered all over the work table and floor. Mike, something is wrong. Ralph was untidy, but I guarantee you he would never leave prints and negatives in such a state. The darkroom door was partially open, and Katie ran over and reached for the switch just inside the door. Before she found the light, her foot touched something, and she backed out with a scream. Ah! It was Mike who turned on the light. Crumpled on the floor lay Ralph, his shirt torn and soaked with blood. Okay, guys, that is the end of the first chapter of this chapter, part 2, or we're going to do 2 part 2s. So I'm going to be reading chapter 15 in just a second. But oh my goodness, Ralph covered in blood. Something must be going on. And she and Paul, how could Paul go out with Diana? Oh my goodness, I knew that Diana was a no good ne'er-do-well. I knew that. Lots of stuff happening. Yes, let's see what the comments are saying. Yes, is right. Hello, Aaron. Yikes, 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 yikes is right. Don't go in there. Yes, don't go in there at all. Oh, no. Yeah, lots of stuff happening. Oh, hi, Nancy. Thanks for joining. Yes, go get some popcorn. I'm glad you did, Gretchen. Lots of stuff in this chapter, I'm telling you. It was extra saucy. I mean, can you believe them talking about two-timing in the 50s along with potential murder? Oh, my goodness. So lots of things happening in the chat. Yes, that mystery package, we've been wondering about that for several chapters. So lots happening. Oh, hi, Christy Garza. I'm so glad you've joined us. Welcome, welcome. And to anybody else. Yes, Vinny. Hello to Jane. Okay, lots of great things happening in this, yes, the blood. Yes, lots of drama. So Ralph is one of the main characters. He's the one, Mr. Esperon. He's the one that owns the photography shop where Katie had worked and studied about negatives and photography. So lots of things. Floozy. Diana is a little bit, she has gotten around with the guys, and we know that because it says so in the earlier chapters. And you're about to find out some things about Diana that's really going to shock you all. And for the 50s, guys, I'm telling you, this is wild. So I can't wait to read this next chapter. Yes, there was two-timing. So apparently, and we have to get this confirmed in the second chapter that I'm about to read here, but yes, Diana Caldwell, who is the student that got kicked out of many colleges and has just sort of appeared in this small town, she's the one that's been two-timing. So Katie was dating Paul Serrell from the Herald, and now apparently Diana was also dating him, we think. So that's what at least Katie thinks and is happening, which is just crazy. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you're tuning in, Angela, to hear this chapter because it is going to keep you on your toes. So this next chapter, as I mentioned, has got some really interesting details, and we're finally going to learn more about this mysterious package, and I am so excited to share this with you. So we are going to also read chapter 15. So you are getting a double header tonight, 2 chapters of Katie and her camera, and this is going to be really, really fun. So stick around, guys. There is more to the blood and the mysterious package and the two-timing coming up right now. Chapter 15. Indecision. Ralph! Katie tried to get him, but Mike pushed her back and felt Ralph's wrist. He's alive, but don't touch him. We might start the blood flowing again, and it looks as if he's lost quite a bit. Call the hospital. Suddenly, Katie was calm and self-contained. There's a doctor's office in the building next door. I'll run down and see if he's still there. Meantime, you call the hospital and the police. Some going over he's had, was the doctor's terse comment when he arrived. Help me carry him to the couch until the ambulance comes. He's badly bruised, but I don't find anything broken. We'll take an x-ray at the hospital to make sure. There, he's coming to now. Ralph opened his eyes, moved and winced, and closed them again. Then he tried to raise himself on his elbow, and the doctor pushed him firmly back. Stay put, man. You've come through a lot, and you mustn't make it worse. Katie. Yes, Ralph, I have the package. Don't talk. Just tell me what to do with it. Anxiety made her incoherent. Paul, Paul, give it to Paul? I will, but don't talk. Now, call him. She tried his home number first. When no one answered, she called the office. Paul, there's a... Katie! His voice sounded jubilant. Ralph's been beaten up and his studio's been raided. He wants me to... What? How is he? He's in pain, but apparently not permanently injured. He can't talk, so we don't know the story yet, but he wants me to give you the package he sent me for safekeeping. Can you come over right away? I'm on my way. Paul arrived when Ralph was being carried out on the stretcher. Ralph waved on impatiently when Paul stopped to see his condition. Package before anything else happens. Katie gave Paul the package, facing him with hostility, and climbed into the ambulance with Ralph. Paul looked at Mike and lifted his shoulders helplessly. Mike grinned with sympathy. There isn't much you can do when she's like this. I'm under orders to report to her mother and calm her down if necessary. But I have to see if the police want anything more. Katie, Paul said swiftly, at least let me know how Ralph is. I'll be at the office for a couple of hours yet. You can call me there. An hour later, when Ralph was under sedatives and resting quietly with Katie in the room, a detective came in to question him, and Katie was sent out. She went down to the phone booth and put in a call to tell Paul about Ralph, that he was doing a little bit better and had no serious injuries, but she still didn't know the story or what the back of it was. Narcotics, Paul said. You'll see it in tomorrow's paper. I'm just finishing the story now, and see you that you won't see me actually, though. I'd better say now that I'm taking a job in Chicago. Oh, there was frosty silence that came in her voice, very small. When are you leaving? Next week. I see. She paused again. I suppose there's nothing to say except goodbye and good luck. Thanks. As soon as I finish here, I'm coming to see Ralph. Slowly, Katie replaced the receiver on the hook and huddled wretchedly in the booth. So that was the end of the romance. She drew a deep breath and then opened the door and went up to see Ralph again. The detective had gone, and Ralph was grinning jauntily at her. Remember last year when I was warning Paul against getting into trouble on a story about gamblers? Guess I should have taken heed myself when we started this narcotics story. Luckily, I'd already sent you the negatives in print, so they didn't get what they were after. Then he told her the rest of the story. It had begun the night of Katie's birthday almost a year ago when Paul came out to her house to see him. He caught wind of a rumor that a narcotics ring was moving into the Middle West and wanted to discuss it with Ralph, the feasibility of getting photographs for use as an illustration and evidence, and they had gone together to a joint on North Lyndale to begin tracking down the pushers. One of them was the fellow that Katie had seen with Diana Caldwell, whose picture Paul had studied so carefully. Sam Wilson was his alias in the Twin Cities, but they were found out that his brother ran a narcotics ring in Connecticut. Sam was sent ahead to explore the new territory. How did Diana enter the picture, Katie asked, and how did she know this Sam? Well, Diana is the kind of girl who likes thrills, likes to feel like she's living the high life, Katie. She smoked marijuana a few times and used to buy it from Sam. That's one of the reasons she was kicked out of other colleges. Diana smoked marijuana? I don't believe it. Katie was genuinely shocked. It's true, she did. Sam followed her here and was pestering her for other contacts, trying to blackmail her into giving him leads. After seeing that picture of yours and Diana and Sam together, Paul guessed there might be a connection of that sort, and we had to talk to her. So that's what he meant the other night when he said that I had already helped a little, Katie said soberly. I had no notion anything was this serious. Well, Paul put it straight to Dana. At first, she was flippant. She said it was her own life and he had no business butting in. But then he gave her a few case histories. He told her about high school and college kids who had begun to use marijuana and how it had wrecked their lives trying to beg or steal for money to pay for it, or had tried something even more potent like cocaine. Thank God, Katie, she had had enough sense to steer clear of that for all of her thrill seeking. But how did she help you? What could she do? Paul talked her into acting as a decoy. He could see she would go for the danger involved, and he was careful to point out the risk she would take. It took a lot of courage, and you've got to give her that credit. Girls have been killed for that sort of thing. He showed her how she could help track down the ring members and how important it was to break up any narcotics gang, and she began to be very interested. You see, she had gotten the idea that skylarking around was the only thing she could do. This project has given her a sense of achievement and purpose, and now an insight into what she can do in constructive ways. Now she's getting seriously interested in psychology, Katie interrupted. I know. She told me all about it yesterday, but I was so busy feeling sorry for myself and misunderstanding the whole situation that it was just babble to me. Well, it was a long pull. For a while, that ring was very cautious and its members lay low. At one point, we were ready to give up, but this summer they went into action and we began to gather material. How did you go about it? Katie was sitting forward with her chin cupped on her hand, fascinated. We had to play a waiting game. We'd hang around some of the cheap cafes in the tough neighborhoods, watch for jam sessions. Paul and Diana would dance around until they caught a whiff of marijuana in the air. Diana had developed a keen nose for it and could tell roughly where it was. She would casually join a group and then smoke some and eventually get a whole joint. Then she'd maneuver us in, and finally we'd find out who was peddling the stuff. Once in a while, I'd risk a couple photographs. Mangy conditions, but I did get something. Were you scared? Why, any of you might have been hurt or killed. We didn't enjoy that part of it, but it did make for excitement. I didn't relish dragging you in on it with that package, but I didn't think anyone would trace it to you in Milford, so I took the chance. Anyhow, the story breaks tomorrow morning, and the detective told me they were rounding up the rest of the ring tonight. They've already arrested Sam. But what happened after the phone call last night? I'm not too clear about it myself. I was working late in the darkroom when I heard someone in the studio and came out to see who it was. Then suddenly the room seemed full of thugs. I suppose there wasn't more than 3 or 4 who jumped me. I must have done some damage to them because I'm pretty husky, but when they started working me over to find out where the negatives were, I just passed out. But how did they get in? I don't know unless they flinched the janitor's keys. The police are checking on that. Ralph regarded her very seriously. You know, Katie, it's entirely likely that I owe my life to your coming when you did. If I'd lain there much longer without any medical care, I'd probably be done for. How did you happen to come along? Simple enough. You said you'd be at the wedding, and when you didn't show up, it was so unlike you that it made me very uneasy. I couldn't be satisfied until I found out that you were all right. No intuition, only logic. Well, thanks for your logic, then. He peered at her through his bandages. You look frightful, Katie. You didn't get beaten up, did you? What's the excuse, then? I thought you'd catch Elise's bouquet and be looking radiant after the wedding. When is the next wedding scheduled? If you mean Paul and me, it's not, Katie began, smothering on her gloves. Paul will be here soon. He'll tell you. She produced a little small smile. You've taken an awful beating, but you mustn't feel good about helping in such important work. Yes, I do. I think it's a damn serious business, or I would have never risked my neck at it. But I also think that you are the most exasperating and transparent subject changer on the record. Do you love the guy or not? That is not the point, Katie said stubbornly. Maybe I jumped to conclusions about Paul and Diana, but made it realize that I am not his type. What conclusions about Paul and Diana? Why? She explained how Diana had called for her at the station, and she had gathered that Diana had been seeing Paul and supposed it was for dates instead of work. Well, you see now you were wrong. So why are you talking about not being Paul's type? He needs someone more worldly. Katie, don't talk nonsense. How can you be such a defeatist? How can you underrate yourself so? You said yourself that I wasn't ripe enough for a mature man, she reminded him, and I realize that now. Katie, that was a year ago, and since then you've learned and matured a lot. You're reaching the point where you can keep up with a man like Paul, and you'd be a fool to settle for anyone less. From what Paul says, and believe me, it's a lot of those jaunts to jam sessions and joints where 90% talk about you, and Diana was damned patient enough for putting up with it. You've made a big hit with his friends, and he likes your friends. You enjoy sports and reading together, and you complement each other in personality. You with your simplicity, and Paul with his controlled adventurousness and his complexity. Why are you so distrustful of yourself? Are you afraid of marriage? Are you manufacturing excuses to avoid it? But Ralph, I've had so little experience with men, I don't even know whether I was actually in love. Maybe I just feel as strongly about some other man if I came to know him just as well. Now, look here, Katie, it's fine to base those things on experiences, but sometimes you have to proceed with faith too. You can't conduct a survey with 1,000 men, you know. You know me pretty well, don't you, after working with me every day for nearly a year? She nodded. Do I stack up fairly well with Paul in my own way, and granting a difference of 10 or 15 years? I mean, in my day, I was considered a moderately fascinating character, and a certain young woman still find me attractive. Granted, Katie nodded vigorously. My mother thinks you're terrific. Thank you. That braces me for what's coming next. All right, then. Have you ever felt any twinges of love for me? Katie gravely regarded the swathing of bandages on the pillow with a nose protruding. No, not exactly. At least not in the same way, though. I'm fearfully fond of you. The voice said from the bandages. That reply, direct, even if it hurts. Well, I asked for it, didn't I? All I wanted to point out was that you have been exposed to at least once someone roughly comparable to Paul without responding in anything like the same way. That makes me suspect that the chemicals are well stacked for you both. I can vouch for the fact that Paul has been exposed 100 times over without getting interested to the degree he is in you. Ready to reconsider? Katie remained adamant. I can't do anything about it, Ralph, not after the way I acted with Paul. I'm ashamed of myself, but I just can't go chasing after him. Katie, my dear, self-respect is a necessity, but don't confuse it with pride. There's no affront to self-respect if you allow it a bit of leeway for humanity. All right, now, it's your life. It's only that I'm fond of you both, and I think you're both disrupting prospects for a very happy marriage. Don't count on Paul chasing after you. He's got a lot of self-respect and pride, too. And besides, he's going to be in Chicago. Just ask yourself if you would have given up so easily when you started your story on the ghosts. There were obstacles there, too, but you managed to overcome them. Remember, this is far more serious matter and is worth a lot more striving. Katie leaned over the bed and kissed the tip of the protrusive nose. Ralph, you are a wonderful man, and you've made me feel a lot better even while you scolded me. But I do really have to go now. I'll see you again before I go back. Don't forget that you won't be seeing Paul again, Ralph called out as she went out the door. Pride, humph! She could hear his snorting all the way down the hall. She went slowly down the stairs, her hand on the banister. Maybe Ralph was right. Maybe she should call Paul and at least talk it over. Tell him how sorry she was that she had jumped to conclusions, now that she understood what had happened. And yet perhaps he was really tiring of her, and that's why he hadn't come down the last 2 weeks. It wasn't just that it was humiliating to confess her mistake or to give the appearance of pursuing Paul. The episode had interrupted an idyll and brought her back to reality, to feeling that she must re-examine the relationship, even if it meant losing Paul. What was it they called it in military and diplomatic language? Calculated risk. She might never see or hear from Paul again now that he was going to Chicago. Yet she had very strongly the feeling that if the relationship were good, it could weather a misunderstanding and a separation, provided it didn't last too long and bring them together with a better understanding of each other. And if it weren't good, basically. That was another risk, but it was better to find out now than to be disillusioned later. Right now, she felt the need, in interim, no matter what, to come down to earth again and explore her emotions, weather the confusing and exhilarating presence of Paul. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe she was only dodging the issue of marriage itself, but she had to find out. Okay, guys, that is it for this chapter. I will be reading chapter 16 and the last chapter next week. So we've only got this much of the book left. But guys, was that not a chapter? Holy cow, we're talking about a narcotics ring in the 50s with marijuana. I can't believe it. Holy moly, that was something. Oh my goodness. Well. Let's see what's happening in the chapter that I missed. Very naughty. Yes, very, very naughty, Gretchen. Vinny thinks so too. Yes, Vinny's sale is this Saturday for all of you guys who are wondering. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. Let's see what else has been happening. Yes, Vinny is early this week. Thrift U doing a sale Thursday. I don't know what their schedule is. Are they rescheduling? Okay, that's good to know. Let's see what else in the chat has been happening. Knew I should have been a romance novel writer. Well, you still can. You never know, Gretchen. Lots of stuff happening in this book, and you can get an idea of how well this lady writes and builds suspense, because, man, it's really amazing. Wednesdays are stuffed with sales. Misty starts off at 1 p.m. Yes, and this Wednesday, Misty will be having her Christmas sale. And yes, she does have an aluminum Christmas tree for sale. So, guys, that is going to be wildly popular. So I can't wait to tune into that. He loves me not, loves me. I'll knock him out and hide Paul in my basement. I love him and hug him and keep him forever and ever. Yep, there is a lot happening with Paul. More talk on the sales. Let's see. Nancy, I'm sorry, whatever's happening. I'm pushing thermo on her clothing and socks. Oh, new items. Okay. Let's see what else has been happening in the chapter. Who would have thought all these shenanigans going on back then? I know, me too. That is just wild to me. Vinny's saying something that I missed. What is Vinny saying? A lot came out in this chapter. Oh boy, it sure did, Aaron. You know, to think about the 1950s and them talking about, you know, a narcotics ring and marijuana and, you know, two-timing, and I mean, it's just, and getting beaten up. I mean, wow, you just don't expect to hear that. So this has really, and some bad words thrown in. I mean, not that bad compared to today's standards, but wow. Yes, me too. I love this book. I just think it's so great. I really do. It's so fun. What were you saying, Vinny? I think something I missed was really funny. Who would have thought? Yes, I read that comment from Debbie. Angela saying, oh, wow, Vinny, I didn't know about the three-way sale. Oh, Vinny, are you having something extra special? Yes, Shirley Pearl is getting the aluminum Christmas tree. Well, you know, Shirley has that fast internet, y'all. And if you don't know, there was some sniper snipes on Alex's sale that came in the last minute, and we're getting some really cool vintage Christmas stuff. So yes, I don't know if I'll have a chance at that at all with the snipers and Shirley Pearl and the fast internet. But you know what? I am happy that Misty's selling it, and I'm glad that other people will have a shot at it too. So if I don't win it, that's okay. But I really am hoping to get an aluminum Christmas tree this year. That is on my list. Next time I find some 1950s potboiler novels, I'll have to send them to you, Katie. Please do, Nancy, because I need some more to read on my YouTube channel. I need to find some saucy ones. I like the mystery books as well, but I think the saucy ones are more fun for you guys. So I'm looking for that. I just found one. I think it's going to be somewhat saucy on Michelle's sale from, I think it's 1949. So I'm gonna get that one and read through it and see what I think. Of course, though, with this book, I did not read ahead. I only would read one chapter per week. So I really don't know how this ends, guys. I'm learning as you are learning. So that's what I've been doing. Of course, I did practice these 2 chapters before I read them live. But yes, I am learning as you guys are learning. But I'll have to read the first couple of chapters in that book from Michelle to see if it's something I think would be fun. Oh, Sean, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I know it's not vinyl, but it's certainly fun. Actually, Sean, there was some mention of vinyl in this book. Katie and her mother are into opera music, so they do talk about a lot of opera vinyl in this book. But yes, I will be continuing it. Every Monday will be my reading series, so I will be reading these books on my YouTube channel. And then, of course, Sean, if you came in late for Christmas, I will be doing a Christmas book series. So I will be reading several classic Christmas novels. And they're not novels, I should say. They're more like small books. So we'll be able to read a book a Monday, basically. And then it will end with some surprise guests. Different YouTubers are coming on to help read A Night Before Christmas to all of you guys live in our pajamas. So that's going to be fun. Yes, Alex had some fantastic stuff. She has really got a good eye. All of you guys do as well. I love being on your sales and seeing what you find. The tree, that is a good question. I did see it on Instagram today, and I think it's one of the smaller trees, but it is the pom-pom trees. So look for that. The silver tree is pretty, but it's like an open buffet for my cats. Luckily, I don't have a cat, but I have to put it up high because my dog Louie would try to eat it. She likes to get into things. Oh, okay, you're getting ahead of the game. Okay, Vinny, I don't know what you're mentioning there. I missed something, but I'm sorry. There is a book called Weasels, Ripped Mrs. Flesh, edited by Wyatt Doyle. It's an amazing adventure and saucy stories from the 1940s and 50s and men's adventure magazines. Ooh, that sounds really good. That would be something definitely I'd like to read. I don't know, Vinny. I think she thought maybe you wanted to keep the secret. She said she thought it was supposed to be, but I say advertise. Is it okay, Vinny? If you're having a multiple person sale and you're doing the mystery guests again, then I guess that's what you're referring to. Oh, yes, I will show my brooch again for all of you guys that missed it. This is my brooch. It came from Patrick at Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and it has got the beautiful blue. They're like rhinestones. And then it's got this kind of polished stone, and it's from around 1950. So it's really a great brooch. I love it. Thank you, Debbie. I'm so glad. I'm glad this was fun. Thank you, Victoria, so much for tuning in. I enjoy reading these books, and it's fun just to see what's on in books from the 1950s. From that time period. Oh, thank you guys. Yes, it is. It's a really beautiful brooch, and I think it looks great with this shirt. Tabletop tree. Yes, it does. It's smaller. It's a tabletop tree, but it has the pom-poms on the end. Yeah, it is. It's really beautiful. I love brooches and hats for all of you guys that don't know. Yes, it does match my shirt perfectly, I thought. Vinny, if you want, we will promote the double. Oh, yes, we'll promote the heck out of it, Vinny, if you want us to, but only if you're not doing one of the surprise guest things. I'm always happy to promote anything that I can. I try my best on Instagram to share everything that's going on. Yes, it does look like moonstone. It does, Sandra. That's probably what it is. Yes, Katie, I'm not making it a mystery this time. Okay, great, Vinny. So type in the chat who you're going to have on your sale, because that's exciting. And we will all tune in. Chicago lady saying, get the Michael Shea detective books. solving crimes with lots of juicy stuff. Okay, so I'm going to be on the lookout for that, Chicago lady. I was in a antique store. Oh, Lucid. The next reading. So next Monday, Jeannie will not be having her sale because she does every other Monday. So next Monday at 5 o'clock, I will be reading the last 2 chapters of Katie and her camera. I want to get it finished up before we go into December so I can do the Christmas book reading. I will be reading a book called Anti-Claus. That was a book that I read growing up. It is a really great story. We'll be able to get through it in one reading, and it's really fun. So I can't wait to read that. And then I'll be reading a 1970s little book called The Christmas Mouse. And then I've got, of course, the big epic ending to the Christmas series with The Night Before Christmas. Vinny's saying, D from Thrill the Thrift, Crafty, Jackie, and myself. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so much fun, Vinny. I can't wait to tune into that. I am really excited about that. So that's going to be awesome. So Vinny, does that mean that D is not having her sale on Saturday and her regular time at 3 in the afternoon? I'm guessing she wouldn't be. Oh, good. I'm glad you're excited, Lucid. I really do have fun reading these, but I was in an antique store the other day. Careful, there wasn't anyone in there. That just sounded like Yoda, didn't it? Careful, I was. Anyway, I was in that antique store and I saw there's a whole bunch of books in the back, and I started going through them, but they weren't romance novels or mysteries or anything of interest. So I was really hoping to find something there to read as well. But we will get another book going. Don't worry, you guys. Yes, fire sale. I agree, Vinny. You've got a great cast of people lined up for that sale. That's going to be fun. The 3 Sellers is at 3 p.m. D's time, and I am hosting it. Then right after I'm doing, oh my gosh, Vinny, that is epic. That is going to be so fun. So Vinny is going to be doing a bonus live sale after his first live sale with D at 3 p.m. on Saturday. That is going to be so much fun. Read them, you must. Yes, that is so Yoda. That is fun. Yes, I do love Star Wars and Yoda, and Yoda's definitely one of my favorites from Star Wars. But I will be on the lookout for more books. Again, if you guys have any suggestions for books that you have read from 1940 or 1950, I want to kind of keep it older, please let me know, and I will be doing that on my channel so that you guys can follow along. And typically I do a chapter a week. Again, I'm doing 2 chapters this week. Obviously, you just heard the 2 chapters, and the next week 2 chapters because of me trying to get finished before December. Don't we all, Vinny? We all have a lot of clutter that needs to get decluttered. I definitely have been bit by the collector's bug, and I was looking for some things the other day, and I thought, gosh, I really got to get this organized. You should see my closet right now. My closet is sort of a dumping ground for a myriad of things. I'm a very neat person. If you know me, I'm a Monica. I keep everything super clean, but my closet looks horrible because I've been getting vintage Christmas stuff and piling it in the closet because I know that I'm going to be decorating for Christmas soon. So I haven't had the gumption to climb up on a ladder, pull down the big vintage Christmas box, and put all of it away. So stuff is a mess right now in the closet, and I got to go through it so that I can get ready for Christmas and get it decorated. I will be showing some friend mail on my Wednesday live. So for all of you that want to tune in Wednesday at 6:30, I will be doing a live then, and I'll be showing some vintage Christmas, the friend mail. Also, I am going to be eating, yes, a Jell-O mold from the 1950s. So for all of you guys that are wondering what's happening Wednesday, I'm just going to tell you, you guys have voted on Instagram, and I will be trying this really, really nasty show-off casserole. And I'm sorry for anyone that grandmother had made this and they liked it. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's nasty. I haven't tried it, but it looks so bad. So I will be trying this, and I'm also going to give you guys a bonus, and I'm making this nasty Jello mold, and I will be trying it live on YouTube for all of you on Wednesday. I'm really setting myself up for a bad go of eating some things that I don't care for. Katie, are you finding any vintage Christmas at the antique stores? Vinny, I'm not. That is a good question. My local antique store does not get vintage Christmas in very often, and if they do, they charge an arm and a leg for it. So last Christmas, my vintage antique store had one shiny bright for $34, and it was just the red round one. It wasn't an indent. So there was that. And then the antique store that I took you guys into, I was showing that antique store. You've seen it on my YouTube channel, the Fans and Stoves Antique Mall. The man lady, oh my gosh, sorry about that. I got all of that twisted around. The main lady that runs the antique store told me that they don't have a buyer for vintage Christmas, and so they don't get it. And if it gets in there, it just sits and sits and sits, and they end up redonating it. So our stores don't have it. I never find it here. And that is why all of you guys have seen me collecting things from different live sales, because we just don't get any of that Christmas magic here at all. Yeah, $34. I will forever remember that, because I thought there is no way I'm paying that. I could get a whole box of Shiny Brights with the original box for that price. That was very, very pricey. Vinny, no. Vinny and I were having a very fun conversation earlier on Instagram. Okay, yes, I'm taking one for the team. Yes, I am, Debbie. I am taking one for the team by trying this Jello recipe. Let me tell you what is in the Jello mold. So we got the fruit tower, which I showed, and that's the bonus recipe I will be making. Now, this has Miracle Whip, and gelatin. Can you believe that? How nasty that is? Fresh peaches, Bing cherries, mandarin oranges, and Miracle Whip with more Miracle Whip on top. America's favorite Miracle Whip. Now, for all of you that don't know, Miracle Whip is not a mayonnaise. It is actually a salad dressing. So why that's in some sort of a fruit tower thing, I don't know. Then I'll be trying off the show-off casserole, which I'm going to tell you right now I'm not going to like. Why? Because I do not care for raw green peppers. Cooked green peppers are delicious, but not raw. And they want you to combine cooked cubed ham, cream of mushrooms drained, green pepper, chopped pimento, chopped onion, parsleyed rice, along with a whole bunch of Miracle Whip and ham, and mix it together into a cold casserole. So yes, that is going to be really, really nasty. It's going to be so bad. Oh man, Florida's warm all year around. It's hot here. Today though, it was 64 degrees, and that was really, really nice. We never get that. I'm missing some chat here. Let me go back up here. Not new items, Katie. I'm organizing donations tonight for my coworkers for homeless winter needs. Sorry you missed my first comment. Cheryl, so glad that you joined us, and that is a wonderful cause. I'm so glad you are helping the homeless. I volunteer with the City Rescue Mission here that also does a lot of work to help the homeless, and I think it's a really, really great cause. Penny's saying I found 3 boxes of Shiny Brights for $8 in an antique shop near my house. That is a fantastic price. Floridian smoking. Oh my gosh, Penny. Well, apparently Diana Caldwell's smoking a whole bunch of marijuana and being extremely naughty. Tippy Wings Vintage Christie is saying, Carrie, can I have it this year? What did I miss? I missed something. Lucid saying, I know a place, but I haven't gone yet. For vintage Christmas? Oh, well, you've got to go. Yes, Florida is hot, hot, hot all year round, Vinny. It's true. I saw an empty box for $25. Yeah, that's insane, Jeannie. I mean, I realize that they can command a big high price tag because they are shiny brights, but man, yeah, that's just too much. Benny, a lot of Floridians have retired and downsized, so I'm not surprised there's not a lot of vintage Christmas. You know, that makes a lot of sense, Carrie, because we do get a lot of people here from New York City that come down, and a lot of people that spend their winters here because it's warm. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they're done with the cold, so they all come down here. It's funny because my friend Frank, who lives in South Florida, I've told you about him, he hates all the people that drive crazy. And he always says, oh, those people must be from New York. Because if you've ever lived in New York or visited New York, you really have to drive in a very cutthroat manner to get anywhere because the streets are so packed. And if you're not driving very defensively, like on the highway, the cab driver was telling me when I was in New York that if you don't start honking and just literally merge yourself into oncoming traffic, you will not get anywhere. And that's how they drive. So Frank says that people come down here to stay and they're still driving like they live in New York, and it drives him nuts. Carrie's saying, I ate orange sugar free Jello last night without Miracle Whip. Well, now see, I like Jello by itself. Jello is fine, but not Jello that has Miracle Whip. Now, you know, whipped cream in Jello is delicious, but all of that, I just, Miracle Whip, no thank you. Oh, well, see, Gretchen, I'm glad you like Miracle Whip. That is just something that's not for me. I think Miracle Whip, Vinny says, ew. Yeah, Vinny does not like Jello. For all of you guys that don't know, he does not like Jello. So I have spent Xmas in Florida. It gets cold, especially on the coast. Some parts of Florida do, but last Christmas it was like 90 degrees here. So we definitely did not get the cold bug. But I miss when it's cold. The chat just jumped again, but I was catching up on some chat here. Sounds like ambrosia. You know, it probably is some sort of an ambrosia salad, Trisha. I wouldn't be surprised. Whipped cream, I understand, but not Miracle Whip. Exactly. No, I don't know why they put that in there. But, you know, Vinny and I were talking about the other day in one of the chats how in the 50s, you know, people reuse things and they didn't throw anything away, and anything they had in the pantry they could make something out of. So that's possibly what this was it was inexpensive to whip up and you could take it to a party. But I just can't imagine eating that. You know, the whole mentality in the 50s was you don't throw food away because you have to think of the starving children in other parts of the world. And I'll never forget, my mom tells me this story and it just has stuck with me. My mom had a friend in school and they used to have this incentive in school to eat all your food and not throw it away. Now, this was in the 70s, but it was still the same sort of mentality. So this kid, he didn't want to, I guess, didn't finish all of his food or was full or whatever. And I guess a teacher came by and said something to the effect of, oh, well, you need to finish that, or, you know, you can't get up until you eat your food or something. I don't know. And the kid said, well, you know, and then of course the teacher was saying, you know, think of the starving kids in Africa or Romania or wherever, which is something that they literally used to say back in the day. And this kid got up and told the teacher, well, it's not like I can just stick it in an envelope and mail it to them, which has stuck with me my entire life. But that is something that back then they did. And so they probably imagine that mentality of being told to sit at the table until you finish your dinner, and then thinking, oh my gosh, I can't take another bite of this. I'm going to throw up. It just seems so gross. But maybe then people like those flavors. I don't know. Yes, Miracle Whip. Oh, Lord, no, Miracle Whip. Not for me. I'm a Duke's mayonnaise gal. I love my Duke's mayonnaise. It cannot be called mayonnaise if it does not have egg in it. I agree with you, Nancy. That's right. And I don't think Miracle Whip has egg in it. Yikes, yuck. Yep, and that is something I will be eating for you live on YouTube. So wish me well with that. I thought she was going to say a whole bunch of marijuana. Well, like I said, Jenny, Diana Caldwell's had her fair share of marijuana. That was one saucy chapter. But will you have leftovers? Unfortunately, Gretchen, I will. Now, I probably will take them to my elderly neighbor because she does really enjoy this kind of jello salad and she likes this kind of stuff, these recipes, which that is totally wonderful that she likes it. So I am not doing a disservice. I will not be wasting any food. I will be taking those to her and I won't be giving her bad food. Believe me, guys, I would never do that, but she actually likes this. And so I know that she will eat it and enjoy it. So it will not go to waste. I will be giving it to my neighbor and she'll get a good dinner there out of that. Just like the red flavor. I prefer anything to cherry flavor. I like red and orange. That's my favorite flavors of Jello. I do not care so much for the green Jello. That's kind of my least favorite. Not if any of that would be if I made it. Okay, I think I can stream through StreamYard now. Oh, Angela, that is wonderful. Yes, for all of you that don't know, Angela was trying to get on StreamYard along with Sherry Lynn, and they were giving a weird message that said you had to be verified or something within 24 hours. So I don't know what all that was about. That did not happen to me when I signed up for StreamYard, so that's very strange. But I'm glad that you got on. Yeah, let us know, Angela, when you're going to go live. I really would like to be there for that. Something so that they can eat the gelatin stuff. Yeah, just I don't care for Miracle Whip either, as I said, Christina. And Nancy's saying, I think you would have to be high on marijuana to eat some of those Jello carousel creations. Pretty much. Yeah, you'd have to be really baked for that because oh, I just can see it now on Wednesday. I'm going to take a bite and then I'm going to be very rude on camera and actually spit it out, which I know is terribly rude and you're not supposed to do. But I will be having some napkins nearby because I don't know that I can swallow it all. I bought some Victorian Christmas cards on Sunday. Have to figure out how to display them. Tia Fane, welcome. Join the chat. I'm so glad you're here. If you've been here all along, I'm sorry if I missed your comment. But yes, I like to display my vintage Christmas ephemera and other ephemera in flower frogs. You can get the metal flower frogs that have the prongs that stick up and you can stick stuff down inside. It's a really great way to display things. Also, guys, if you live in an apartment and you can't really display things on the wall or you don't have a lot of room, use a magnet because a lot of apartment doors are magnetic and you can just get those cheap round rare earth magnets or regular magnets from the store and stick them to the door. That's how I hang all my die cuts and it's really great. Nancy, the people who invented those recipes were probably high at the time and had the munchies. That's probably right, Christy. They probably do. Vinny's saying, you got to do something to make sure you don't remember the taste or smell. Yeah, because, oh man, that's just going to be so bad. So bad. Oh, hi, Don Maserati. Thanks so much for joining the chat. I'm glad you're here. Vintage Cat and Paws, wish you all a wonderful night. Up early in the next morning, looking forward to your next live. Oh, thank you, Gretchen, and I'm looking forward to yours as well. So I hope you will come back, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your sales, and have a great night. Katie, what if we donated $5 for each bite you take to a charity of your choice? Well, Carrie, that would be a very good idea. That might be something I could get behind. I would be more willing to swallow the bites, knowing that it was going to some place that was going to use the money really well. I would probably donate to the City Rescue Mission here because they do a lot of great work for the homeless. But that, come to think of it, Carrie, that's a very good idea. If I did another one of these in the future, and there is a lot of really strange recipes in this Better Homes and Gardens magazine from, for all of you guys that have been following me, you've heard this 8 gazillion times, but from 1959. So maybe that's something I can do around Christmas time, is I'll make a recipe and then you guys can donate for the bites that I take, and then I will give the money to someone deserving or for the City Rescue Mission. That's a good idea, Carrie. I'll think about that. Yes, I had some very late night dinner tables, not mom and dad. She even looked like Joanne Crawford. Oh, Cheryl, I missed something there. spit it out and yell a couple of explicit words. I can picture it now. Oh, Vicky. I get, not that I'm monetized, but I would get, if I were monetized, I would get demonetized so fast. But it warrants that Jello mold. I don't know. The Jello mold may not be that terrible, but that other salad or casserole concoction thing with the Miracle Whip might be so gross that it might warrant some pretty bad words. Oh man. Yes. Hi, Gretchen. Dawn is in the chat. Let's see what I've missed here. I like that idea, Carrie. Me too. That's a really good idea, Carrie. I really like that. Not a big fan of red. Used to eat it when I was little. Yeah, my mom was telling me the other day that she used to eat so much Jello when she was sick. That was something that Grandma made a lot, that she's just so tired of it now and she won't ever eat any more of it. And I think that does happen over time. Oh, bye, Martha. No worries. I'm glad you got to take care of your, I'm glad you're going to take care of your puppers and help the cats. That's wonderful, Martha. I'm glad. You have a great night. I'm so glad you joined us. Katie's Kitchen Creations and Donations. That is perfect, Carrie. I might have to use that. I'll work on this. If you guys want me to do something like that, I will work on that for this Christmas time. I'll work on that. That would be a really great Christmas live event. And we could have like a live marathon of me eating really nasty recipes from the 50s. Oh, no worries, Aaron. Pup could have me up a couple of times tonight. I know how that is when you have a young puppy. You're up and down, you're out the door, and you got to take care of them. So have a good night, Aaron. Thanks so much for joining. Jello and Spam and broccoli is the bomb. Oh, I don't know about that. But what I will do is, if we are going to do the Christmas $5 donation thing, what I will do is I'll make the ring around the tuna. Yep, I'll make the Jello with the tuna, which is just so gross, but I will do it in the name of charity. I'm sure if you ate enough Jello and whatever is in all of this, that Miracle Whip might really mess with your stomach. Great idea, Carrie. I agree. Yes, new puppy for Aaron's. For any of you guys that don't know, Aaron has a puppy, and it is a small whippet, and his name is Winfred, and he is on Instagram, so you can follow Winfred the Whippet, and he is just absolutely adorable. So if you like dogs, you guys got to go follow Winfred the Whippet. He is just so cute. And of course, I got to start posting more pictures of Louie for all of you guys. And I know you guys have been also requesting to see my two guinea pigs, Otto and Cappy, Cappuccino and Macchiato. So I'll have to do that for you sometime. They're not the most photogenic, and I've been trying to find the photo I took of them in a hat. Yes, I bought a little guinea pig hat. It's a tiny little hat. It's a newsboy hat. I bought it a couple of years ago, and I have that for the guinea pigs. And I did take a picture of them. Okay. No worries, Carrie. You have a fantastic evening. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks, guys, so much. Night, Penny. Penny, are you heading off to bed as well? Okay, yes. I kept everybody up really late the other night with my long live event. So I'll stay on just a few more minutes here, and then I'll head off so that you guys get a chance to get some rest. I need to post more of my dog too. Yes, we would love to see your dog, Jeannie, because I just love dogs. I think animals are so cute, and I love seeing them on Instagram. And did you guys see, I don't know if you follow Doug the Pug. Maybe that's not something that people really worry so much about in our vintage circle, but I love Doug the Pug. He is a famous dog on Facebook and Instagram. Bye, Christy. No worries. Oh, bye, Debbie. Thanks so much. Yes, please go subscribe to Debbie's channel. I really appreciate that. If you guys would do that. She's awesome. And you have a great night. Good night, Jeannie. Katie, I'll donate money. You don't have to eat that nastiness. Just make it and show us how icky it is. Okay, Dawn, I might do that too. We might have a marathon of like cooking and baking with me for some of those. But anyway, I was mentioning Doug the Pug. He is the most adorable little pug, and he dresses up in outfits, and he's so cute. He reminds me of my Louie. And so yesterday I saw that he won a People's Choice Award. It's the second year for him to win Best Dog or Best Internet Animal Star or whatever. And I was so excited for him because I vote for him every year just because I've always followed Doug and I love him. He's a boxer and a hound mix. Oh, how cute. I can't wait to see that. And Lucid, we've been praying for your dog. Yes. And you have a boxer and a basset hound. Oh, my goodness. You know, my babysitter growing up had a basset hound, and we used to sing that song, "Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to the floor?" Just because the ears were so low. I'm a big fan of Reuben the Bulldog on YouTube. Well, Teofane, I'm going to have to look that up because I do think bulldogs are really cute too. And I love the internet stars with different animals. There's an Instagram account, I think it's called Timmy Stowe Beans. It's a weird name, but basically it's these two cats, and they are not your normal average like shelter cats or cats that you see. They have the funniest faces. And one is named Temmie, and what is the other one's name? I don't know, but the guy has this kind of Russian accent that he does, and he talks to his cats, and it's the funniest thing. It really brightens my day to see Temmie and the cat. So I love him. And then I follow Puggy Smalls on Instagram, another great pug account. And there's so many different pug and animal accounts that I really, really like. Oh, hi, Jen Bootsy. Thanks so much for joining. Again, your little cat makes me so happy every time I see it. Well, I do. I love those Instagram accounts so much. Looking at the dogs and the cats and the cute animals. They're just so fun. And there's another one, and I can't think, it's Tatum Talks. Have you guys seen Tatum on Instagram or TikTok? He is so cute. His dad, I guess, does the voices for Tatum. And he's just adorable. He's a shelter dog, and he's so cute. And his dad does all these little conversations, you know, like you would have with your own dogs and cats about various things. And so Tatum's so funny. You got to look up Tatum Talks. You all have cute dogs. I miss my dog, Wedgie. He was a mini schnauzer. I go back to hear him bark in my old videos sometime. Oh, Dawn, I'm so sorry. That is really sad, but I'm glad you can find joy through all of our animals here online. I like sharing them with all of you, and it's not weird at all to go back and do that. Not at all. I just saw a picture of my first guinea pig the other day. Her name was Asher. I did not name her that. She came named. But no, not Tanum. Tatum. Wow, I can't talk. Tatum O'Neal or Channing Tatum. No, we do not have not that kind of dog. No, he's not dancing around in a Magic Mike movie. But yes, it's not weird at all. I just saw that picture of Asher, and I had a lot of good memories of my first guinea pig. She was an all black guinea pig, a very unique color. She was beautiful. So not weird at all. So Wednesday at 6:30, I will be trying that recipe. So if you want to see me try that and open some friend mail, I got some friend mail from Abby at Cozy Curated Cottage. I will be doing that on Wednesday at 6:30. Thank you, Lucid. I'm so glad you came by to stop by and see the live and participate in the reading. It was fun to do that. So if you guys want to see me, I will be doing that at 6:30 on Wednesdays. We'll be looking more at this Better Homes and Gardens magazine, at some of the other recipes and weird advertisements and suggestions and things in there. And I will be continuing, not on Wednesday, but next Monday, I will be reading the last 2 chapters of Katie and Her Camera. So be on the lookout for that. Night, Chicago Lady. I have yet to even see Magic Mike. I haven't watched it yet. Well, Vinny, it's a really good movie. It's a little saucy, but it's also got a lot of emotion to it. So it's not just your, saucy movie that all the ladies like to go see with their girlfriends. It's got a whole nother layer to it, but it is worth watching at some point. I have had so many wonderful animals in my life. We had the neighborhood house and all kinds of animals. My first pet was a rabbit, but someone's dog got it. Oh no, that's Nancy. That's horrible. Yes, this overstuffed house. For all of you guys that don't know, RV Vagabond Travels. Her name is Debbie. She's in a lot of our live chats here on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel and it is the same name. And for any of you guys that cannot find her channel, I will post the link right now because I am subscribed to her. So let me do that. And if you're a moderator in the chat and if you can find her, please post her link because I may not be able to get to it as fast. But she does have a really, really good channel. So I recommend that. And she just posted her first live a few days ago. Not live, but video a few days ago. Yes, I got it. Let me post this to you in the chat. Her first Goodwill haul. That is what I'm trying to say. And I just can't get my words together at the moment. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me post this in the chat. Here is Debbie's channel, so please be on the lookout for it. She met Flatbird Finds not that long ago. Really? I did not know that, Penny. Where have I been? I guess I've been living under a rock. I really am so behind on people's content. It is not even funny. I've been trying to catch up when I can. Misty puts out so many videos, and I want to see them all, but I just can't get to everybody. I think I'm finally caught up on Vinny's videos. I saw both of his latest videos yesterday, and I was catching up on Tim's video today. Tim and Over the Years, he posted a video, and I can't believe I missed it live. I got a phone call, and I was not able to be on that live event, but I had submitted a box. It's an older box. It's a wooden box with this beautiful hand-painted detail and brass corners, and I wanted him to identify it for his identifying vintage and antique show, and he did. I think that they found a lot of research on it. I got it at an antique store for a very good price, and he was saying that it was worth over like $300, which is crazy. So I can't wait to go back and finish watching that because I want to know more about it. So I'm really glad that he was able to find some more things on it. I don't have that many things that are really rare or unique that I would have trouble identifying, but I am going to think of something else to submit because that is really fun. I never read Stephen King's Pet Sematary because there are way too many pets buried in the backyard. I inherited the family house. 56 years of pets out there. Oh, wow. Yes, I don't care for anything scary. I mean, I rarely do anything that's scary at all. I mean, you know, there's certain things that are scary, but not that scary, and I'll watch those. But I certainly will not read Stephen King, and I will not watch the remake or the not remake, but the movie they made out of the book. Maybe it is a remake from a previous movie, but my friend Chastity, who's a big fan of those horror movies, went and saw it, and she likes that kind of stuff, and I'm not a big fan of that. I can't do that because I won't sleep. That's my problem. So I don't read or watch any of that kind of stuff. I can't keep up with everyone. We are all putting out so much content. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, it is, Vinny. And some people are amazing because Scott at the Old Curiosity Shop, he puts out 2 or 3 videos at least a week, maybe almost every day. And I just can't keep up with all of that. I try to. I like to make my rounds because everybody has fabulous content. And I really do try, but I mean, I'm so backlogged on videos, and it's a miracle that I make it to the lives, which is, of course, I try to make it to every live event that I can. So at least I'm catching the lives and getting to interact with all of you. Vinny, I don't see how anyone can do as many YouTube videos as Jocelyn and Misty, but then it's also their day job. Most of us have another job besides YouTube. Yes, that's very true, Nancy. Jocelyn and Misty put out a ton of content, and it's really amazing. I don't know how they do it, but again, that is their main job, and they do a great job at it. I always learn so much from them, so I like watching their videos a lot. And there's just so many delightful channels to see here on YouTube, and I'm constantly learning. That's one reason I really like George's premieres, is because George has scheduled premieres, so I can always make it to the premieres, and I'm getting a chance to see his video at the same time, so I'm catching up with his content and learning and getting to interact with people in the chat. So it really is the best of both worlds. Oh no, the tuna ring is the worst. I was a kid in the 60s. Take my word for it. Yeah, Cheryl, that just sounds really awful, and I can imagine. What about it? I want to see the original one. Yeah, I just can't do anything with Stephen King. I think this overstuffed house was saying something about that, how she was afraid to watch it because of all the animals buried in her backyard, which I can imagine it's a lot if you've inherited the family house over all those years, and I wouldn't want to watch that either. That just seems very creepy. Or are you talking about It? I think Penny was talking about It. Oh yes, Don Maserati saying It is the very best story ever. What a horrible ending, but still a great story. Yes, I don't like clowns. Vinny knows this very well because he likes to find clowns, I think. And we're always joking about sending a clown to Misty, which of course nobody would do because we all love Misty way too much. But she and I um, are in the no clown club. We do not care for clowns. And I certainly just don't want to see any movie related to clowns at all. And, here we were having that clown craze like a few Halloweens ago where people were being really violent and dressing up as clowns. And it was really becoming a problem. I was just afraid that would happen to me when I was out. I was like, oh no, I really don't want that to happen. It is really good, dated, but you cannot beat Tim Curry. Are you talking about It, the clown movie, or are we talking about something else? Was Tim Curry in the original It? I don't know. I'm behind here on what you guys are chatting about. I am so bad with actors' names. I know I can picture them in the movies really easily. Like when you say, obviously I know Tim Curry's in Rocky Horror Picture Show, but if you say a movie and I can picture that actor clear as day. But if I'm put on the spot and you're like, oh yeah, who was in that movie? I can't tell you. I can describe them and I know who they are, but my brain cannot come up with the name. So I have to go and actually Google it. Pet Cemetery is more about humans coming back to life than pets. Still, it's not for me. Angela's saying, I love scary movies. Well, everybody to each their own. If that's something you like, and again, most of my friends really like the scary movies, that's totally fine. Yes, it is definitely not for me. I am not a clown fan. I always joke that if I got a clown figurine in my house, like that it would come to life and murder me in my sleep. They just are so creepy. And oh yes, It is the movie with Tim Curry. Okay, then we're all on the same page. Thanks, Vinny. Tim Curry was the original clown in It. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, now I do. That's really a good thing to know. I just have that feeling like it would come to life. And the thing is, I never had a bad experience with clowns as a kid. I don't remember being surprised by a clown or having one at a birthday party. I don't know why I don't like clowns. It's just something about their faces that give me the EBGBs. And I just think they're really creepy. I don't know what it is. Certain things like that, their faces on things really affect my feeling towards them, and clowns are one of them. Now, I did have a bad experience with the Easter Bunny when I was a kid, but I'm not afraid of the Easter Bunny. But when I was I guess I was maybe 6 years old, my mom took us to a local hotel here. It was like a Hilton hotel, and they were having some sort of like Easter, I don't know if it was an Easter like afternoon brunch or Easter egg hunt. I think it was some sort of like an Easter egg hunt. But basically they were inviting families from all around could just come and join in. And I don't know if you bought a ticket or what, but anyway, my mom took us. And I was sitting in there. My mom still has this picture, so I'll have to get out and post it on Instagram. But I was sitting in this high chair, and my mom was talking with somebody, near my high chair watching me. And this giant Easter bunny came up from behind me with these bug eyes. I mean, it is the creepiest looking Easter bunny costume you have ever seen in your life. Came up from behind me and tapped me on the shoulder, and it scared the daylights out of me. And there's a picture of me with this just creepy Easter bunny, and I'm just crying because I'm so upset that this thing came out of nowhere and scared the junk out of me. Tim Curry was Pennywise the Clown. Oh, well, see, again, like I said, I'm learning a lot. I like the hokey 1950s scary movies. Yeah, Dracula, that kind of thing. I don't have an issue with those. I think those are fun to watch. I do. I like Dracula. I like Godzilla. I like all those old movies. I think those are fun. I just don't do modern horror at all. I used to play Janet in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Always wanted to be Frankenfurter instead. Oh, that's so fun, Dawn. Did you do a shadow cast? Because I've always wanted to be in a shadow cast. I think that would be so much fun. I go as Columbia every year, and if you saw my Halloween live, I was dressed up as Columbia, and I just have so much fun doing that. I go to the showings every year. Of course, this year the showings got canceled. Oh, Johnny's in the chat. Hi, Johnny. Thanks so much for joining. If you guys don't know, Johnny G has a live show every Saturday night at 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., and he plays all that wonderful 50s and 60s music. And I believe Nancy at this Overstuffed House, you were in the chat this week, and I got to chat with you a little bit. I'm glad you came over to hear Johnny's show. And also, I believe last week or the week before, Carolina Lady came. So I'm glad you guys are going to check out Johnny's channel. He's got a really good channel, and I love the 1950s music and 60s music, as you all know. That's something I collect with my records. And Johnny has a really, really good channel and a great broadcast. He's saying, hi, Katie, are you talking scary movies? How about the 50s movies at the Terror from Beyond Space? Yeah, so Johnny had been talking about watching some of these 50s movies while he was working during the day. And yes, actually, when I was in school, I studied scenic design and costumes. I had to take a sound design class. And one of the sound design projects we had, it was the final project of the year, we had to take a horror movie from the 1950s, and we had to use just the footage, and we had to reconstruct all of the sound piece by piece by piece, but we couldn't use any pre-recorded sounds. We had to make all of the sounds ourselves using Foley art. And if you don't know what a Foley artist is, they are the people in movies that create sounds for the movie. So when you hear a door creak, or you hear people stepping on sand, or banging things around, or the mechanisms in an elevator, they create all of that sound. So we had this project to do. It took me weeks and weeks to figure out how to create all these unique sounds. And my scene was from Creature of the Black Lagoon. And so I had to show water moving and that kind of thing. And it was a really fun scene to do with creating all the sound. Yes, Nancy saying he remembers that one. There's an actual name for phobias of clowns. I also hate clowns. It's very common, so I don't know how they got so popular. Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of clowns, so I'm not really sure, Dawn, but there is an official name for everything. Vinny's saying he's seen some pretty creepy Easter bunny costumes. Me too, Vinny. And this one, I'll post a picture of it when my mom finds that picture in one of our scrapbooks. But yes, it was a very creepy Easter bunny. And for a kid, just to come up behind some little kid sitting in a high chair, I mean, that's just really scary. That's something you don't do. How many 50s monster movies have some poor critter with stuff glued to it? A lot of them, Nancy, a lot of them. Oh, night, Cheryl Ross. Thanks so much for coming in the chat. Dawn, yes, you were Columbia. Yep, I love Columbia. I've got the shorts, the top hat, the jacket, the corset, which you guys really couldn't see the corset on my live, but under the jacket, I had the whole corset with the sequins going on. Oh, you're welcome, Johnny. I think your show's fabulous, and I'm always learning so much about rare and unique 50s records that I haven't heard of before, because that's what Johnny does, is he plays a lot of really rare and unique 45s that most of us aren't familiar with, and I always learn so much, and I take notes during the show. Vinny's saying, I'm sure everyone here has seen the original Exorcist movie from 1973. I watched it last Thanksgiving. I wasn't scared at all. There were a couple of creepy scenes, but nothing to give me nightmares. Well, Vinny, you are braver than I. Actually, when I was a kid, I'll never forget this. My dad would come down to visit. My parents are divorced. And so my dad would come down to visit, and we would always stay at a hotel, at one of the local hotels that had this really big pool. And Dad would come down, and we'd stay with him. And in the hotel, there was a kitchenette. My dad's a really good chef. And so he would cook for us. And one of the things that he cooked that is now my favorite dish in the entire world was chicken piccata. But it was the first time we had it. And if you've ever made chicken piccata, it's very labor intensive. So my dad was over in the kitchen, the little kitchenette, working on that, and the TV was on, and my brother and I were flipping through channels, and we landed on this channel, and I don't know why we were watching it. I mean, we were probably 7, and we probably shouldn't have been watching it, but it's one of those things that just popped on TV. And my dad, I'll still remember this. My dad came from around the corner to tell us that dinner was ready. And he looked at the TV, and right when he looked at the TV, we were watching some, I don't even know how we found it, but some sort of horror movie. And I don't even know what one it is. My brother and I still can't to this day figure out what the name of it was, but it had this giant creepy looking monster with these big like robotic suction cup arm things that was like taking people off the ground and eating them. And my dad looked at the TV and he's like, oh my gosh. And he was trying to change the channel because he's like, how are you all watching that? And then my dad just kind of got sucked into it, and we were all watching it. And I guess we never had nightmares, because I don't remember having nightmares after that. But I still don't know how we were all watching that. Yeah, that's funny. Too cool, Katie. We should do an online Rocky Horror cast. Don, we should. That would be so much fun. Maybe we could get in touch with the Rocky Horror, what is it? Rocky Horror Club. There is a Rocky Horror Picture Show Club. I follow them on Facebook, and they do live online videos all the time with a shadow cast in front of the movie, since no one could go to the movies right now to see it. I'll have to message you. Yes, very, very cool. People are scared of clowns because they are of the uncanny valley phenomenon. Yes, Teofane. Vinny's not sure. Vinny, I let my son watch the original Exorcist when he was around 10. He was unimpressed as well. Now, see, I like the movie Alien, and my dad let us watch that when we were around 10 years old. And I liked that movie, and it really didn't scare me. So it's only certain horror things, I guess, that get to me. Which video were you playing Columbia, Katie? Oh, I played Columbia. I did a Halloween live video here on YouTube where I gave away prizes and did games, and we were just hanging out and chatting. That's the video that I was dressed as Columbia. I haven't actually played Columbia yet in a shadow cast, but I was saying that I would really love to do that sometime. I think it would be fun. I've got the whole costume, the shorts, everything. I made the costume myself from scratch. I'm not a sewer, but my best friend who has a background in costume design helped me with it. And it is a really, really cool costume, if I do say so myself. Christina's saying, sorry I left, but I'm back now. No worries, Christina, at all. Hey, Jamie from Mid-Century Wasted. Thanks for jumping on. The books are always way scarier. The movies aren't. Yeah, they suck. Okay. Yeah, you have to like certain horror movies, and if you've read the books, like my friend was saying, she's read a lot of the books, and the movies just aren't as good. There is a monster museum in Boulder City near Vegas. Great collection of screen-used props, creature suits, and custom pieces representing monsters throughout movie history. Jen, I would love to see that. One of the best things that I think I've ever gotten a chance to see was I was in London, and we went through the, what museum is it? It's a museum in London, and I can't for the life of me remember the name at the moment, but it had all of this antique furniture, and we were going through it, the Victoria and Albert Museum. And it was just antique furniture, so you don't think that the museum is going to have much more. But when you get to the second floor, it's all costumes from various movies and Shakespeare plays. And it was the most fascinating thing to see because I have a background in theater. I was totally nerding out. And I loved going and looking at all that. And they had some of the costumes, I believe, from Wizard of Oz and other Shakespeare plays like the first Hamlet. Not the first Hamlet because, things aren't around from Shakespeare's time. Not a lot of things anyway. Other than there is a copy of one of Shakespeare's first books. Man, I'm a little off on my speaking tonight. I'm sorry, you guys. You know what I mean. Shakespeare's first plays. Oh, my goodness. I just need to get my words together here. But anyway, yes, it was a fascinating museum, and I would love to go back. I get scared, but I can't stop watching. That happens to everybody. Does that happen to you when you start watching a really bad movie and you get about halfway through it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so painfully bad that I cannot watch it anymore? But then you have to know what happens because you've already invested so much time into it, because that's what happens to me. That happens to me a lot. I watched Child's Play when I was 10 or 11 years old. Didn't scare you? Really, Vinny? Oh man, I would have had nightmares for weeks. That's definitely scary. Oh, I'll message you, Dawn. I definitely will. I will message you. I'll give you a message about Rocky Horror Picture Show because that's so much fun. Yes. Hi, Jamie. So glad you joined us. Oh, Pooh, I have to go watch that video. Yes, it is. It was a lot of fun to do, Dawn. And I didn't get to show all of the costume because I was, from the waist down, but I did have the corset and the shorts, and I have the tap shoes with the fishnet stockings and the blue socks and the whole kit and caboodle. It's fun. Oh, no worries, Dawn. Have a great weekend or a great week rather, and a good weekend too. And I'll see you in one of the chats soon, and I'll get with you about Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have to get going. I still have laundry and listings to do tonight. It's almost midnight. If Trusty Huckster Mercantile is not doing his sale on Thanksgiving evening, maybe I can sneak in. Yes, Nancy, maybe that's a good time to sneak in. It really does help when people cancel that you can jump on their time slot. I was really blessed that Nancy, oh my goodness. Jeannie from Norma Jean Plus One has alternated days on Monday, so I was able to borrow that time slot until I got through the rest of the book that I've been reading, Katie and Her Camera. So that was really good for me. So definitely look for those open time slots. And, just ask people. Sometimes people are willing to adjust just a little bit. Like Lucid was so kind to adjust tonight because she knew that I was going to do this live at 10 o'clock, and she ended her sale at 10. So that was just so nice of her. So really, this community is really kind and wonderful and accommodating. So I'm sure if you just message some people, you'll find a time slot eventually. And there's always someone that can't do a sale at a certain time, and you can have their time slot for the week. So that always works out as well. Hi, Sherry Lynn. Thanks so much for joining. I was trying my best in Lucid Sale to give you my email because you were asking about an address for friend mail. So if you will email me, I can give you my address. My email is linked in the video description of all of my videos, but I'll type it in the chat too. It wouldn't on Lucid Sale let me type in an email. It kept saying that emails and links were not allowed because I wasn't a moderator. So I couldn't post that for you, but let me post it for you now so you get it. Thanks for joining the chat. I just put that in the chat for you. Nancy, it might work because I should not be able to do a live every week. I'm just hoping to sneak in once a month. Well, Nancy, yeah, you should be able to find a time slot. And I know with everything going on, things are getting more and more crowded and busy. And there's so many new great channels and things popping up. And it really becomes hard to find the time slot. I'm kind of lucky that on Wednesdays I was able to get that time slot. But I'll only be going for an hour because right after Nicole at Nesting Haven's having a sale. So, it is becoming tough, but eventually you will find one. And if you're just wanting to do something once a month, it shouldn't be that hard to do. So, guys, I think, let's see what time it is. It's 11:48 here. So I might go for another 10 minutes and then I'll have to get off the live and let you guys get some sleep because I don't want to keep you up all night. I know everyone has been enjoying these lives, and I'm so grateful that you guys are. Oh, Vinny's saying he designed a shirt. What would Vinny say? I can't sell merch until I hit 10,000 subscribers. You can't, Vinny? Is that just a YouTube thing? I would think that you'd be able to do that through like one of the t-shirt companies like Misty does. Or Redbubble, or what are some of those other companies? I don't know, Vinny, but that is an awesome shirt. And I would rock a What Would Vinny Say shirt with a saucy pinup on it. I would so wear that. I think that would be so much fun. So really, Vinny, you got to find a way to get those out to the people somehow. Maybe you can sell them in your live sales, or is it just a YouTube thing? I don't know. Oh, it's only 8:48 here. Well, that's good, Christina. Are you in California? Let me know where you're from. I'm here in Florida. I know last time I had a live, I kept people up till like 2 in the morning, and it was funny because people were saying that, "Oh, do you ever get any sleep?" And I was like, "Yes, I do get sleep," but that night I was having so much fun chatting that I didn't want to hang up the live. Well, actually, since Vinny's here, I'll go ahead and show this, and then I can show it again on Wednesday. But I'm sorry, guys, I have to reach over to get it because it's on the other side of the counter. But Vinny just sent these. I found these in his live sale, and they are fantastic. These are Christmas carol books. And by the way, can I just say that Vinny has the neatest handwriting in the entire universe of neat handwriting, because that is some fabulous handwriting. I had to take drafting in school for theater, and we had to learn drafting print, and I can't even write that neatly. So Vinny gets the award for neat handwriting. I could, but I don't know if I could make profits from them, though. Oh, I see what you mean, Vinny. Okay. Yes, there's got to be a way for at least maybe you can make a sticker, because that's something too that I would put on my Yeti. I know that the sticker company, I think it's called Sticker Mule, that Misty used. I looked into it, and you can get 100 stickers for like $40. And it works out, Vinny, you're much better at math than I am, because I know you always do that in your videos. You say, well, you get this many for how many ever cents. But I think that it ended up being like $4 a sticker or $2 a sticker. I don't know, something like that. And people would definitely buy those. Oh, California. Oh, that's perfect. Well, good. I'm not keeping you up too late. You do live sales. You can advertise them on your sale. Jocelyn did a shirt with a company that she advertised, and they handled everything else. Yeah, there are those companies that will print the shirts. Don Chonkweiler from the Just One More Dachshund Rescue was talking about that. They handle everything, and they only print a shirt as it sells. So you're not having to buy the merchandise up front. So I don't know, that's something to consider. But anyway, these are the books that I got from Vinny. And I'm going to have a little water here, guys, if you don't mind. I am thirsty. This is the Christmas carols that I got from Vinny. And oh my gosh, are the graphics fantastic on this. I love anything with this holly and berry design. And this is just absolutely fabulous. And then on the back, it has this really picture perfect town with the snow. And this is from, look at the graphics though. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yes, that's it, Vinny. See, Vinny's very good at math. I am terrible at math. Vinny's saying 40 for 100 is 40 cents a sticker. That's very reasonable. So I was thinking about ordering, let me know, guys, if you would like this, some vintage and vinyl stickers with my little record logo that my friend designed. Then he's saying, I don't have that kind of money to invest in the shirts. Yeah, you do. That's the thing. You have to invest all that money up front if you're going to do shirts, which makes it hard. I'm drinking coffee and I don't mind. Well, I had some coffee earlier from Starbucks. I'm a big coffee fiend, and I love my Starbucks. And this was my first Starbucks really of this year because I hadn't gone out much. And so I went through the drive-thru and I got a peppermint mocha, which is one of my favorite seasonal drinks for Starbucks. So I had to do that. And their cups are really fun. But back to this wonderful Christmas carols book with the great graphics. This has a date of, it's printed in USA. Oh, I forgot. This has, I don't know my Roman numerals. Do you guys know? Can you guys help with that? Here are the Roman numerals. That's something I'm going to have to Google. This is MCM XXX. I know V, I think, is 5. And then you have the 111. Okay, I don't know, but it's by Whitman. So, of course, it's fabulous because it's Whitman. Let's see what else. And then look at the graphics. Now, "Oh Come All You Faithful" is one of my favorite Christmas carol like hymns. I guess I don't know if you call it a hymn, but Christmas carols is "Oh Come All You Faithful." So look at the graphics on that. That's really spectacular. Oh, Vinny's saying that he likes the Starbucks refreshers, but he can't bear their coffee. Well, they do have very, very strong coffee, and it is extremely hard for a lot of people because they're all Dunkin' people, because Dunkin' has weaker coffee. I can't stand weak coffee. I don't want to make fun of anything, but I call it diner coffee because when you go in diners, their coffee isn't particularly strong. Because, I mean, that is how I guess most people like their coffee. But I like super knock your teeth out strong. Like, I like Cuban coffee. I like the coffee from New Orleans that really, what is it? It's made at the place in New Orleans that has beignets. They're known for their coffee. I can't think of it at the moment. Yes, that's it, Jamie. That is exactly it. Oh, 1953. Jamie got it. Thank you, Jamie, so much. So this is from 1953. But yes, I do like that coffee very much. That strong coffee. It's so good. That's why I get the cold coffee there. Yeah, iced coffee is good. My friend, I got him into Starbucks, and he will drink one of those iced coffees, but he gets lots of sugar and lots of cream in it. Take the paint off the wall coffee. That's it, Sherry Lynn. That's the kind of coffee I like. I like espresso. I will drink it straight. I'm one of those weird people. The kiwi refreshers and the mango dragon fruit refreshers are my favorite. Yes, thank you, Angela. Cafe Du Monde. That's it. That is it. Yes, you can buy their coffee in the grocery stores. And before I had my Nespresso machine, that's what I used to get was Cafe Du Monde coffee, and I would make it every morning. Yeah, I love that kind of coffee. So I heard the bells on Christmas Day with, again, great graphics, and I am learning. StreamYard's camera is reversed, so I have to hold things completely differently than I would on a normal live. More great graphics. I mean, look at the angels on the first Noel. Also, I was noticing how Noel was spelled. Now, I could be incorrect here, but see Noel, Nowell. I always thought Noel was spelled Noal, or oh gosh, I'm not getting that right. I can see it in my head. Noel, not Al. Oh my gosh, Katie. Noel. That's what I was noticing is how Noel's spelled a lot. Katie, we can't be friends anymore. Benny, come on now. Benny's saying, you just insulted Dunkin' Donuts coffee, calling it diner coffee, and I don't even like coffee. I'm sorry, Vinny. I don't like their coffee, and I'm saying that's just for me. I know everybody else has their own opinion on coffee, but I just cannot do weak coffee, and I am not a big Dunkin' Donuts fan. I like my Starbucks because the Starbucks is strong, and everybody can like what they like. That's why in Boston there's a Dunkin' Donuts on one corner and a Starbucks on another, and there is a big difference of opinions whether you're a Starbucks person or a Dunkin' person. Yes, thank you, Sherry Lynn. My spelling is not my strong suit some days. I can see it in my head, but getting it out is a whole other thing. Noel, Noel. Hi, Blake Dorman, Jamie's husband. Thanks so much for joining. I'm not showing any vinyl at the moment, but I will be getting. I'm reading Vinny's comment. I will be going to Record Store Day Black Friday, so I'm going to be looking for the Chuck Berry live what is it? Live New Year's. Holy moly. I've been reading and talking a lot, and my words are just not coming out correctly, y'all. What I was saying is I will be getting the Chuck Berry New Year's Eve album, and then I'll be getting some others, so I'm excited about that. You're pulling your leg, Monica, Benny. I am a Monica, that's true. Benny knows. He's seen my cupboard cabinets. I color coded all my dishes. Yes, I did. I will admit that here live on camera. All of my bowls, all the yellow ones are together, all the red ones are together. Y'all probably already think I'm nuts because I can't speak. Never saw it spelled that way. Yeah, Sherry Lynn, I haven't either. And that's why I was saying I don't know if this was something that was spelled that way during the 50s or a certain time. I'm not sure about that. The old carols. Now look at this. I think this is a bookmark that would have come like a placeholder, but look at that candle graphic. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, Blake, you're saying you might skip this one. It's funny because drop one, and for all of you guys that are in the chat wondering what in the world Blake and I are talking about, we're talking about Record Store Day. Record Store Day happens usually once a year, but this year they've broken it up into 3 different drops plus the Record Store Day Black Friday. So usually they have one main Record Store Day and then Record Store Day Black Friday, but this year it's been split up because of COVID. And the first drop, I got some things, but then the second and third drop had nothing I really wanted. And now Record Store Black Friday has a lot of stuff I want. So I'll be going to that. Blake is saying, did you hear about the record sale Walmart had? They didn't advertise it. Nothing was marked down and every record was 15. Blake, I saw something about that. I don't know if you follow Too Many Records here on YouTube. But he has a great channel and he's in the process of moving. And I think I saw today that he posted something about that record sale and he got a lot of backlash. So I have to read more into that because I don't know what's going on. But he posted some sort of apology on Instagram. I was like, what's happening with the record stores? With Walmart and the record sale. I guess people are wanting you to shop local. Which, I understand that. It is really important to support your local record stores, but I have to read more about that. I heard about it, so I need to know what's going on there. But anyway, this is a fabulous Christmas Carol book that I got from Vinny. Here's some more imagery in it. It's just really cool, Vinny. I love this so much. I'm going to display it. I also got these. Now, they came in a lot. So look at this. Isn't this amazing? Look at the graphics on that. And it's got these little stars and you've got looks like mercury beads on a tree. It's just really fabulous. Now this book I did see. Oh, and look at the holly and berry down at the bottom for 75 cents. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And on the inside, I think this one had a date. Yeah, 1939, the Theodore Presser Company. Look at that, 1939. For this being in such great shape, it's amazing. It came upon a midnight clear. Now, this doesn't have any graphics on the sheet music itself, but it is just a really cool graphic on the outside with all of these great, songs that we all know and love, like Silent Night. And then on the back, it has advertisements for other piano books. So there's that. Oh, thanks, Blake. Don't apologize for anyone. That is good advice. And Michelle at Comfy Cozy Living has a apology sorry button because she says sorry too much and she presses the button now instead of her saying it, which I think is fun. So this is a treasure chest of Christmas songs and carols. Look at the graphics on that. Isn't that fun? And this is printed. Did I see where this was printed? Yeah, 1936, Treasure Chest Publications, New York. Look at that, you guys. Is that not absolutely fabulous? And look at the inside. Oh, my word. I love these graphics on here. Oh, this is just so cool. Vinny, you really found some great things. So this is just a sampling of some of the books that I got. And I think someone, here's Away in a Manger. I think somebody stapled this one back together, but that doesn't matter at all. This is Children's Xmas Party, because look at the graphics on this. And it's got a little toy deer, and you've got your old-fashioned Christmas tree. I mean, look at that. Is that not too cool? This is also mentions that it's Ward Sherbert, New York City, which I love anything that says New York on it. And it's got these great graphics again on the back. And this, I don't know if this one had a date or not. Let me see. Oh, yes, it did, 1959. So, and it's made in USA. And look, Jingle Bells is the first song in here with those great graphics. Again, guys, the graphics, I'm just a total sucker for graphics. I can't help it. I just love the graphics. Then he's saying, I think the staples, that was easy button. Oh, the things I think when I pushed that button. I did think, Vanny, when they ran that campaign, that it was a little bit more naughty than people thought it was, because it does sound really bad if you think about it. Oh, yes, it is cool, Jamie. I know you'd like these because you love your mid-century modern and your vintage Christmas. And then I also got this. Now, this is easy to play or sing, and there's an address on here, 3330 something or another street in, it looks like Pheasant, Pennsylvania, but that can't be right. It's the Ye Christmas piano book cover, 85 cents. And it's got a number on it, a catalog number, and it might be from 1938. I don't know, but look at that. Is that not amazing? And look, here's the address in pencil. So I don't know if that was the address of the person that was running like piano lessons or something. I don't know, but this is fabulous. Or the address of the person that owned this. That is just really, really cool. And then you've also got these other two books. Now, this one is $2.25. And the little piano at the bottom, it reminds me of Schroeder. Schroeder and Peanuts, you know, Schroeder has that little piano. And it's always, he's such a big kid, and there's this little piano. The way this piano is shaped reminds me of Schroeder's piano. And it's got a copyright date of 1966. And this is for piano teachers. So look at that. Isn't that cool? All that old writing and advertisements. Again, this has like Ave Maria and other things inside. And then it's got this really cool ornament graphic on the back. So these graphics are just to die for. And then you have this with Santa and Rudolph. Now, hello, that is just fabulous. Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh my goodness. I love that. This is 1540 Broadway, New York, 36, New York. So what that is, for all of you guys that don't know, is that is a 2-digit zip code, and 2-digit zip codes were used before 5-digit zip codes. So in 1963, 5-digit zip codes came out. And then earlier in around late 40s, they started using 2-digit zip codes for large cities. So this was used for a large city, New York being one of them. So this is definitely significantly older because of that 2-digit zip code. Great shape again. Santa Claus is coming to town. Love the music notes, but the front cover is where it's at, because that is just absolutely fantastic. And then you've got this fun print on the back with the piano keys. So that is awesome. And then the last one I'll show, and then I think I've got to get going, guys, is more Christmas cameos. This is Piano by John W. Schaum. I'm not saying that correctly, I know. $2.75, again, on the cover, but then there's a sticker for $16. So I guess at one point it became $16. And this is just so cool. Again, this one is probably, 1959. And then it says the cost is $1. So for the piano teacher's guide. So that's a little, insert flyer. But there's the date on the bottom for you. And then this really cool graphic on the front. Look at the ornaments. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And the candles and Mr. Santa Claus, and you've got candy cane. Oh, I just love this stuff. So you got We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Jolly Old Saint Nick. And just such good graphics, you guys. So those are awesome, Benny. I really, really love those. And I can't wait to display them at Christmas. They're going to be really fun. So guys, I think that's all I have to share with you all tonight. I've been chatting for a while. You've gotten both chapters of the book. If you missed that and you came in late and you want to go back, you can rewatch that. This video will be posted soon. I've said this a bunch of times during my live, but I'll say it again. This Wednesday at 6:30, I will be live trying the Jell-O mold and that nasty looking casserole from the 50s. So if you want to see me eat that live on camera, then stop on by and watch me. I'll also be sharing some sweet friend mail from Abby over at Cozy Curated Cottage. And I'll reshare the friend mail from Fatbird Finds because, of course, that friend mail night that I shared that, things got really messed up with YouTube when it was down. So I want to reshare that for all of you guys that missed that. And then we'll be looking more at the magazine. I'll also be doing a cook with me video. So I will be sharing how I make that recipe, and that video will go up at 10 a.m. on my channel Wednesday. So you guys can watch that before I actually try the food live Wednesday night at 6:30. So this ought to be really interesting. And we'll have to see if I need to go to the bathroom or not after I eat it and throw up because it seems so nasty. And I'm sorry if any of you guys are watching and you grew up with those recipes and you like them. I am not hating on them by any means at all. I just don't care for that. It looks gross. The picture doesn't help it. And I'm so sorry, but it's just not very good. Yes, the Jell-O is going to be fun. And Jamie, I can't wait to see your Jell-O that you have. You said you've got some Jell-O books with some really nasty recipes like ring around the tuna. So that ought to be really interesting. I love you too, guys. Thank you so much for joining my live tonight, hanging out with me. It was fun to be on with you chatting, and I will see you all in a future video and, of course, in all of the chats. So for now, stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube.